going to do that. Stress anyone else out. I almost thought about calling you guys. It's like, it's fine. Everyone's stuck with me now. Good morning. Welcome to KITSAP Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. Whoever you are and wherever you come from, for this hour we here are one gathered congregation and all are welcome. Please rise in body or in spirit to join in singing our musical call to worship, number 361, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In. My name is Catherine Woods, and I use she, her pronouns. I have long brown hair, and I'm wearing a polka dot black dress this morning, and I serve on the worship committee. Kim Stewart, unfortunately, couldn't be with us this morning. She's okay, so you will all be stuck with me for now. But our guest speaker this morning is Joseph Bednarik. Joseph is a frequent speaker here at KUUF and a retired co-publisher of Copper Canyon Press. We're glad to have him back with us this morning, along with his props. You're going to find out later. If you are visiting this morning, please participate as you feel comfortable. If you're here in person and have sensory or auditory needs, we have fidgets, a rocking chair, and assistive listening devices available. If you need one, please see one of our ushers in the back. And you're also invited to stay and meet people during our coffee hour after the service. Many members of our congregation attend online. If you're visiting online today, you're welcome to introduce yourself in the chat. I'd like to call your attention to today's events after the service, which I just realized I am holding the wrong piece of paper, but you all have the correct piece of paper that will have all of today's events after the service, like the forum to use with the board, Children's Faith Formation Team, Grief Group, and a worship committee meeting. Look at that. More announcements are available in our weekly email newsletter, The Candle. You can sign up on our website or in the foyer. Let's now take a moment to silence all of those electronic devices that you don't need to be monitoring for the next hour. And once you've done that, please join me in taking a few centering breaths. We acknowledge that the land on which we gather is the Aboriginal territory of the Suquamish people. Expert fishermen, canoe builders, and basket weavers, the Suquamish live in harmony with the lands and waterways along Washington's Central Salish Sea as they have for thousands of years. Here, the Suquamish live and protect the land and waters of their ancestors for future generations, as promised by the Point Elliott Treaty of 1855. And now we have Ginny Sugimoto here with our stewardship testimonial.
Good morning and welcome home. Welcome to the beloved community that is Kitsap Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. All are welcome here, especially you. My name is Jenny Sugimoto, and I am one of 4 members on the Stewardship Committee, along with Beth Wilson, Eric Harold, and Vernita Byron. And we have a lot of things planned. I think my most important title is Nana for Henry and Ruby Woods. And I'm also the mother of the talented Catherine Woods. I use she, her pronouns, but prefer a non-binary future where we are not defined by our pronouns or gender identity. I am wearing a black sweater with an ice whistle and a gold pendant given to me decades ago by my father-in-law. It has the kanji for mother. And I look like a curly, white gray-haired Nana with glasses. Okay, I heard we have a major error on our stewardship letter. We are missing a 0. Which is huge. The goal is $288,000. And that would fund a full-time minister. So for those of you who are newer here, February is a very important month. It is our stewardship month. And you should have received a letter in the mail. And there's also an email blast with our letter for stewardship and our pledge form. But if you haven't received it, you can get it from Tanisha or any of us. This is the month when members and friends of KUUF make pledges for the coming year that fund our staff's salaries and programs and maintain our property. Stewardship has a greater meaning that includes the careful and responsible management of something entrusted into your care. My husband and I, Mark and I, have been members and stewards of this faith community since 1988, and to us this is a holy place. We came searching for a faith community as a young couple and found a place that supported and challenged us to be better people, better parents, better neighbors, better doctors, and better citizens. As we enter this February campaign, I am aware that the baton has been passed, and we are the oldest generation in our family and chosen faith community. As I look out on the congregation this morning, I see so many new faces. But I also want to remember our ancestors, whose stewardship and fellowship greatly enriched our lives. Let us remember a few of them: Elizabeth and Roger Bondi, Arlie Osborne, Bob Hudnall, John Matten, Darlene Johnsrud, Patty Hart, Wilma and Hugh Harkins, Bob Borquist, Ed Woods, Carl Hayjack, Diane Brooks Stevens, Arla Stewart, and Jim Brophy, to name just a few. I like to look at the memorial nameplates on the back of some of our chairs each Sunday and think back of my memories of these people and say a little prayer of gratitude to them. Our family supports KUUF with our dollars, our time, and talents because we believe in the importance of this intergenerational faith community. That is our strength, where all are welcome and all voices are heard. We are excited to see so many new members, families, and children coming to KUUF. As family physicians, Mark and I know the importance of healthy families, relationships, and communities to each person's well-being. We are healthier and stronger as we work together in our fellowship. Our hearts and brains need these connections. This fellowship has sustained our family in good times and bad times. We want it to exist for our grandchildren and future generations. As a beloved community, we are a beacon in Kitsap County for all who seek a chosen family and a faith centered in love and guided by the values of justice, equity, transformation, pluralism, interdependence, and generosity. I'm really excited to announce that our theme is Visioning Our Future. We are going to have a visioning retreat on February 21st, and all are welcome. We need this because our 5-year plan has expired, and we need to know where we're going, and we need it for our shared ministry with our new minister. So please mark your calendar. Also, we're having a big stewardship dinner on March 7th, and we'd really like you all to participate. Childcare will be provided, and if you have any special needs, let us know. So KUUF is as vibrant and true to our UU values as we have ever seen it. Our ancestors would be proud. Together, we can be our vision of beloved community. Let's make good memories and good trouble together. I feel blessed to be here among you and part of this faith community. Thank you for listening, and blessed be.
Thank you, Mom. Our opening words this morning are from Maya Angelou. Giving liberates the soul of the giver. We now welcome Vernita Byron to come forward and light our chalice. If you have your own chalice or candle at home, please light it with us now. This morning, we light our chalice with the words of the mystical poet Hafiz. Carry your heart through this world like a life-giving sun. Thank you, Vernita. Please join me in the spoken affirmation. The words will appear on your screen. We gather as a caring community, seeking life's deeper meanings. We value diversity and affirm the worth of all living things. We strive to speak truth in love, to act for justice, to grow in spirit, and to care for the earth. We celebrate with open hearts and minds the creative power that sustains and transforms us. Our next hymn was used at demonstrations and marches during the Civil Rights era in the 1950s and 60s. Please rise in body or in spirit to join in singing hymn number 1024, When the Spirit Says Do.
You got to do when the Spirit says do. You got to do when the Spirit says do. When the Spirit says do, you got to do. Oh Lord, you got to do when the Spirit says do. 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 You got to sing when the Spirit says sing. You got to sing when the Spirit says sing. When the Spirit says sing, you got to sing. Oh Lord, you got to sing when the Spirit says sing. 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 You got to laugh when the Spirit says laugh. You got to laugh when the Spirit says laugh. When the Spirit says laugh, you got to laugh. Oh Lord, you got to laugh when the Spirit says laugh. 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 You got to shout when the Spirit says shout. You got to shout when the Spirit says shout. When the Spirit says shout, you got to shout. Oh Lord, you got to shout when the Spirit says shout. 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 You got to do when the Spirit says do. You got to do when the Spirit says do. When the Spirit says do, you got to do. Oh Lord, you got to do when the Spirit says do. 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 Spirit says do.
I need some water after that one. Good morning. My name is Melinda. I'm the director of Lifespan Faith Formation. My title changed last year. And today I am wearing black glasses and a maroon shirt. And I'm going to be sharing a story with you written by April Rosario based on Imbolc and Irish folklore. So this week, the children are going to be exploring how they find resilience through their relationship with nature. And to help them do that, they're going to be exploring the Earth-centered holiday of Imbolc and honor one of our core UU sources of inspiration, direct experiences of transcending mystery and wonder. Imbolc is a celebration that comes halfway between winter and spring and honors the wonder of nature. It's a time when we notice that even though it's still cold outside, the world is beginning to wake up again. The days are getting a little longer, the sun feels a tiny bit warmer, animals start moving around more, and plants deep underground begin to get ready to grow. As Imbolc arrives and the natural world begins to stir again, it is the perfect time to turn our attention towards stories of resilience. Stories of how light returns, how warmth is rekindled. Stories like the one I'm going to share with you today. A story of how heroes like Bridget face a cursed winter not with fear, but with resilience, compassion, and strength. Long ago, when the world was young and the seasons were still finding their rhyme, there came a winter unlike any before. The snow fell endlessly, burying the fields, the rivers, and even the doors of people's homes. The animals, who usually found shelter in the forests, grew weak with hunger. The people, too, huddled inside, afraid that spring might never return. In a small village, a girl named Bridget refused to accept this endless winter. You see, Bridget had been born during the coldest time of the year, when the frost lay thick on the land and the rivers were hard as stone. But from the moment she arrived, there was a resilience to her, a warmth about her, and an unseen flame that never went out. She had always been close to the earth. She knew where to find herbs to heal the sick, how to call birds down from the sky with just a sweet whistle from her lips. Bridget listened to the whispers of the trees, the murmur of the rivers, and the quiet secrets of the fire. While others despaired, she wandered into the frozen woods, seeking answers. Deep in the forest, she came upon an old woman wrapped in tattered gray robes, stirring a pot over a weak fire. Her hair was as white as the snow, and her fingers were gnarled and twisted like branches of a winter tree. "You have come far, child," the woman said, her voice crackling like ice. "Why do you wander in this cursed cold?" Bridget bowed respectfully. "I seek to know why winter does not end. The earth sleeps, but does not wake. The people suffer. The animals grow weak. Tell me, grandmother, what can be done?" The old woman narrowed her eyes. "The cold lingers because of Kalia, the winter hag. The winter hag refuses to release her grip. She hoards the fire of spring, hiding it in her mountain cave, letting no warmth return to the land." Bridget's heart blazed like an ember. She could not let winter rule forever. So she set off toward the mountain, climbing through thick drifts of snow, bracing against the howling wind. At last, she reached the cave of the Kaliak, where great icicles hung like spears from the ceiling. In the center of the cave, a small fire burned low, barely flickering. "Who dares enter my domain?" the Kalia's voice boomed, echoing off the frozen walls. Her skin was like cracked stone, her eyes sharp as a falcon's. "I am Bridget," the girl declared, standing tall despite the cold. "I have come to bring back the fire of spring." The Kalia laughed, a sound like breaking ice. "You, a mere girl? The fire is mine. The world belongs to winter." But Bridget did not waver. She knelt before the fire and cupped her hands around it, whispering a blessing. The ember within the flame pulsed, as if recognizing her voice. She blew gently, feeding it with her breath, her warmth, her courage. The fire flared, growing brighter. The ice walls trembled. The Kalia let out a cry as the warmth spread, melting the frost from the cave walls, loosening winter's grip. Seeing she could not win, the Kalia shrank away, retreating into the shadows. Bridget gathered the flame and carried it back down the mountain. As she walked, the snow began to soften. The rivers began to flow, and the first green shoots pushed through the earth. The people rejoiced, for they knew that balance had been restored. From that day on, Bridget was honored as a keeper of the flame, a guardian of warmth, renewal, and the turning of the seasons. And so each year at Imbolc, people light candles in her name, remembering that even in the coldest times, the fire of life and hope cannot be extinguished. This story reminds us that we have within us the ability to bring warmth to cold, dark days. Within each of us burns a flame, a reminder of our own resilience, and that we too are strong enough to bring about transformation.
Thank you, Melinda. As a religious community, together, we can do the work of many. By sharing in the sacred act of giving, we transform gratitude into generosity towards our mission. One way that our mission inspires us to act on our shared UU values is to share our weekly offering with a nonprofit agency providing services within our larger community. This is a little bit really larger. Our charitable giving recipient for the month of February is our partner church in Transylvania. With our support, they can offer a summer camp to the youth of their congregation, which also includes English classes. If you would like your offering to go to this month's charitable giving recipient, our partner church in Rechened, please use the envelope from inside your order of service. If you need an envelope, just raise your hand and the ushers will bring one to you. If you would like your offering to benefit KUUF, please put it directly into the basket. Instructions on other ways to make your gift, including a QR code, will be on the screen. Let there be an offering to strengthen and sustain our beloved community with the gift of music from our music coordinator, Brian Kenny. Thank you, Brian. Please join me, rise in body or in spirit, to join me in singing our children up to their classes. The words for May You Go With Joy will appear on the screens. the time for our joys and sorrows. When shared together, our joys are amplified and our sorrows lessened. Ed Luby has a sorrow, I'm sure many of you do as well, for the New England Patriots having to lose next week after coming so close. Kristen Smith has a joy to share. She is extremely thankful for Genevieve's lesson on spell slot theory last Sunday. It's helped her manage her limited daily energy and recognize when it's time to take a short or long rest. Kristen is also finding joy in cantrips, those little tasks and acts of kindness that she can accomplish even when all of her big spells are spent. Melinda Hughes has a joy this morning for being able to say goodbye to her dear friend, Sandy Ledre, before she passes. Lucas Jackman has a joy this morning. Today is Imbolc, also known as St. Bridget's Day. Lucas made some colorful Bridget's crosses that are at the welcome table, or I think I saw them on the coffee table. Please take one and enjoy it. Our art has helped them through times, and they wanted to share these with all of you. Thank you, Lucas. We have a sorrow from Genevieve Emmett, whose sister-in-law, Kathleen Emmett, has been moved to hospice. Sorry, Genevieve. And we light one last candle for those joys and sorrows that are still too tender to share. Thanks, Rosemary. Please join me in a moment of prayer or intention. In the spirit of community in which we find strength and common purpose, we share our joys, our sorrows, our hopes, and dreams. We have turned our minds and hearts toward one another in trust, giving love, seeking comfort, and celebrating together. We are part of the web of life that makes us one with all humanity, one with all the universe. In all the moments of our lives, for those loved ones and events shared this morning, and for those we yet hold in the silence of our hearts, we are truly grateful for the love and support of this beloved community. May the spirit of life and love bring peace to us all. Amen, and blessed be. Please remain seated as we sing hymn number 123, Spirit of Life, together. The words will appear on your screen.
Good morning, everyone. Before we begin, I just want to say my name is Joseph Bednarik. I am a white beard. My pronouns are he, him. White beard, glasses, short brownish hair. And also before the reading, I do want to say that that is the world's best typo. Oh my. The stewardship committee, we forgot a 0. So I encourage you all to go home, to grab the letter, to reread the letter, to mark the typo and reflect on how much you're going to give during the stewardship campaign. That's fantastic. And I also do believe, for those of you who have heard me before, I do believe in signs from the universe. And when I grabbed the book of today's reading, I was gifted with 3x5 card as a bookmark, and this was given to me by a student in a philosophy class. And it's a riddle, and there's a 3-part answer, so just hang in there for all parts. But the riddle is, or the question is, do you know where bad rainbows go? Prism. But it's a light sentence. It's okay. It gives them time to reflect. Wonderful. So the other thing I want to say this morning is a person recently asked me what I'm doing to help move the world in the direction of the good, to lean my shoulder against that arc of justice and try to bend it in the right direction. And my first response was, go to church, to bring forward the values of this religion and to make them manifest in the world. And I think that it's a very powerful thing to do that in community and through connection. So I'm honored to be here with you today, helping make the world a better place. The book that I'm reading from this morning is called The World Has Need of You, with the subtitle Poems for Connection. And this is the title poem by Ellen Bass, great American poet. The world has need of you. And there's a small little epigraph from the poet Rainier Maria Rilke. Everything here seems to need us. I can hardly imagine it as I walk to the lighthouse, feeling the ancient prayer of my arms swinging in counterpoint to my feet. Here I am, suspended between sidewalk and twilight, the sky dimming so fast it seems alive. What if you felt the invisible tug between you and everything? A boy on a bicycle rides by, his white shirt flaring opened, flaring behind him like wings. It's a hard time to be human. We know too much and too little. Does the breeze need us? The cliffs? The gulls? If you've managed to do one good thing, the ocean doesn't care. But when Newton's apple fell toward the earth, ever so slightly, fell toward the apple. Please now let's enter a time of silent meditation.
there's tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on.
Please swallow your pride. If I have things you need to borrow, for no one can fill those of your needs that you won't let show. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. You just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. Well, I just might have a problem that you'd understand. We all need somebody to lean on.
If there is a load you have to bear that you can carry, I'm right up the road. I'll share your load if you just call me. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on.
You just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'd understand. We all need somebody to lean on. You just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. It just might have a problem that you'd understand. We all need somebody to lean on.
We all
Need somebody to lean on. We all need somebody to lean on.
Thank you, musicians. I just would like to point out that the drummer came in, he had a suit and a tie, and now the tie's all around. It's like, working the skins, working the skins. Wow. I have been thinking a lot about Godzilla over the last few months, and I'm going to let your imaginations run wild as to why. And as we do that, let's consider one of the most iconic, focused, and naked to the world of all sporting arenas, and that is a boxing ring, in an auditorium the size of the world. And from the heavens drops down one of those microphones, right, on a long, long, long wire. And that mic is grabbed by a tuxedoed figure in the middle of the ring who is the announcer and says dramatically, "In this corner, weighing in at over 10,000 pounds, a nuclear mutant from the Sea of Japan, the angriest lizard ever to torment the earth, the cold-blooded monster with the atomic laser breath, the crushing beast that's singularly bent on destroying culture and humankind as we know it, Godzilla!" is a thunderous roar from everyone who is evil and mean who has ever walked this planet. I'll let you take back your applause. From venal capitalists and Nazis, religious extremists with a taste for blood, river polluters, old growth cutter downers, racists, drug king and queen pins, child abusers, puppy kickers, gang leaders, the 7 deadly sins, slave ship captains, pirates, thieves, Hannibal Lecter, Adolf Hitler, Darth Vader, Dastardly Dan, the Joker, and every villain from every comic book ever printed. And in this corner, weighing less than 1 pound, while being the vast metaphorical seat of all compassion, all deep feelings, all manners of love and warmth, justice and fairness, the muscle that beats from inside the womb until the moment we die, the one muscle that has its own shape, its own holiday, and works nonstop for 2.2 billion hearts, the one, the only human heart! It is an equally thunderous roar of approval from every kind person who has worked hard to make a good life for their family and the family of humanity. From Mother Teresa and Mahatma Gandhi, labor organizers, social workers, Little League coaches, food bank employees, inspiring teachers, little kids who were bullied on the playground and grew up kind, good cops, Jesus, Buddha, Muhammad, drug counselors, Ruby Bridges, Dr. Seuss, the Dalai Lama, organic farmers, environmentalists, brave women who volunteer at battered women's shelters, philanthropists, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, the Mod Squad, Underdog, Gumby, Pokey, and every Unitarian Universalist who has ever spent 1 nanosecond thinking about, and more to the point, feeling the sublime depth of our belief in the inherent worth and dignity of each and every person, even the ones cheering for Godzilla. Godzilla versus the human heart. Remember, this is a stewardship sermon. Imagine the ringside bell. Ding, ding. And that little human heart just so longs to bound out into the ring to bravely face that nuclear mutant. And yet the only way a human heart can go out into the ring is to be beating within a warm human body. We need a volunteer. We need a volunteer to carry the heart into the ring, and millions of hands raise, eager to do what must be done. A sea of hands waving in the air. At this point, you're welcome to wave your hands. Thank you. Right on. Because, of course, you are one of the millions or billions, and your hand just instinctively shoots up, catalyzed by the values of this religion that you practice. And like winning the best lottery that the universe has ever created, you are selected. Your human body carries humanity's heart. And so it is that your generous heart are within, you and your generous heart are within the ring, face to face with the evil immensity of Godzilla and his acrid breath smelling like a butcher's dumpster on a hot summer day. Hold that image. You, inside a boxing ring, facing Godzilla, head up, heart opened, and all the world to see. You and your brave, love-filled heart, eager to do what it can against all that is bad and unjust and evil in the world. On behalf of humanity, thank you. Thank you for entering the ring, truly. Thank you for entering the ring wherever you have entered the ring. And we are all old enough, we are all wise enough to know that it's not that dramatic. It's not that fanciful. And that said, my guess is if we took an inventory of all that we have done collectively to make the world a better place, The list would be long, the list would be vital, and we would be proud of our accomplishments while becoming equally inspired to do more. To supporting, through our volunteer efforts and our financial contributions, thousands of institutions that exhibit the values that we UUs want to see thrive and prosper in the world. And one of the reasons that I walk through those thresholds and thresholds like them into Unitarian Universalist sanctuaries, one of the reasons I come week after week after week after week is because I choose to gather with fellow Unitarian Universalists within a place that we co-create as sanctuary to get re-energized, to re-enter the ring. On Sunday mornings, we can find nourishment and rejuvenation in this place that we call sanctuary when we gather with others who have also entered the ring against Godzilla, people who have name tags and battle scars, stories and a certain glint in their eye. Now I love standing and singing with this ragtag group of warriors, many of whom are elders. And one thing that I have learned about coming to church is to never, ever underestimate the warrior spirit of an elder. And yet, no matter how vital and inspired I want to feel, no matter how much energy I call forth from my inner reserves, no matter how I try not to, sometimes I look at Godzilla and I burst into tears. I get discouraged, fearful, fatigued, bamboozled, run down, dispirited, outflanked, worn out, weary. Godzilla is so massive. He's so huge. Such a friggin' mutant. There was this writer in Oregon named Brian Doyle, may he rest in peace, who wrote a slender and sublime book about the human heart called The Wet Engine. The book was inspired by his little son who had a bad heart and many surgeries. And Brian Doyle decided to write a book in praise of the human heart. And in praise of the doctors and the nurses who kept his son alive. And there is this gorgeous passage early in the book that I like to think about when I start to get overwhelmed by Godzilla. I don't know about you, Doyle writes, but when I am really frightened by something, really filled with fear, really terrified, I find myself getting utterly absorbed by the tiniest details. I think it is a form of emotional defense or something. If you can focus on the infinitesimal, then the vast can't get a good grip into you, can't get its hooks in, can't get its pincers into play. Now that is wisdom from the How to Eat an Elephant school of thought when facing those huge challenges. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. How do you fight Godzilla? One heartbeat at a time, multiplied by millions and millions of hearts. And since we were last together, I have been asked to donate money directly or indirectly to many causes and institutions. And with someone who has spent their entire professional career in the nonprofit world, I'm very used to and comfortable with being asked for and asking for financial resources to fulfill a mission. Here are a few on the list, and I will name them with their corresponding Godzillas. A liberal arts college, fighting ignorance and creating adults who can think critically and read and write. Goodwill, job training for people with disabilities to help create self-respect. Several public radio stations, especially after the federal government withdrew funding. Reporting relevant news to inform citizens of our democratic republic. An online fundraiser to help pay medical expenses for someone without insurance. trying to pay healthcare costs that have gone berserk. A food bank, providing one of the basic needs of life. People standing with handwritten signs that read, "Please help," at the exit of the grocery store, easing the crushing effects of whatever got them standing there. The National Comedy Center, providing inspiration and laughter through the comedic arts. And their fundraising letter was absolutely brilliant. Seriously, and I don't think there was a typo in that one. If it was, I missed it. But their letter was about a couple whose, one of the members of the partnership was essentially disappearing through Alzheimer's, but they could connect on the comedy that they shared when they were younger. Beautiful, beautiful story. And also, Unitarian Universalist congregations have asked me directly for money, and I have given it over because Unitarian Universalist fellowships, they confront every known Godzilla worth confronting. Now, each and all from that list made appeals to my heart to give them financial resources to help them fight Godzilla. Ding, ding. And while I was asked to give financial resources to all of these entities, I actually gave to a select few. I wish I could afford to give to every worthy cause, especially when the Godzilla of homelessness distills down to a single human being who approaches me on the street and asks for money. This is the infinitesimally focused point that Brian Doyle is talking about. So I'm asked to help out. And I say, sorry, I can't help right now. I hate saying sorry, I can't help right now, because one of my life's core mantras are 3 words: yes and how. And I actually have that sign, I brought it with me as my prop this morning. I have that sign above my desk so I can look at it all the time. Yes and how. And yet, yes and how, I lie. The last time I was in Seattle, I lied to a human being straight to their face. A human being who stumbled toward me with a paper cup and asked, "Spare change?" I did that shoulder shrug, head shake, sort of pocket pat, brisk walk past the person. Of course I have some change or something somewhere in my pockets or in my bag or in my wallet. Gotta have something on me. Did Godzilla win that round? One time I didn't have spare change, but I was determined to give this person something because they were hungry. Listen, I said, all I've got on me are credit cards. I'll buy you something to eat. And so we went into a sandwich shop. I bought the man a sandwich. And I'd like to say that we sat down and he told me his story, and that simple sandwich was the start of a life change where I helped a fellow human being off the streets into a new life brimming with self-respect. Wasn't the case as far as I know. Just a sandwich on a random Tuesday. Nothing heroic and offering no permanent solutions. The guy stopped feeling hungry for a few hours, probably slept on the street that night, and now, years later, chances are he's dead as the result of very hard living on the streets. Did Godzilla win that round? And I've shrugged past hundreds of desperate and hungry people since that measly sandwich. Shrugged past and gracefully lied to hundreds of people who carry the light of divinity within them. Shrugged past, lied to hundreds of people who each and all carry the inherent worth and dignity within their being and within their souls. What is up with that? And one of the most devastating things I have ever experienced as a parent was to confront homelessness with my small, beautiful daughter right there at my side, to be present, to witness the Godzilla of homelessness introduce himself to my glorious little girl who had a secure home, a warm bed, regular meals, and a special quilt on her bed made by her loving grandmother. Now, this happened 25 years ago, and I can still see it vividly portrayed in my mind. My daughter was 4, and we were going on a trip to Seattle. We parked the car in Bainbridge, walked onto the ferry. It was a beautiful, sunny Saturday, and we were going to visit the aquarium. We disembarked, and while walking toward downtown, we saw many people sitting or laying on cardboard with their blankets and their buckets, their backpacks, and their shopping carts. And my beautiful, innocent, gorgeous, stunningly perceptive daughter stopped dead in her tracks. She had never seen anything like this, and it was deeply confusing to her. She stopped walking and stared at a man who was sprawled out and unconscious as she tried to make sense of it all. Now imagine seeing homelessness for the first time and trying to make sense of it. Rather than pick her up and hustle past, I joined her. We just stood there, looking at this man. Lub-dub, 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 lub-dub. She had no idea what she was looking at. Lub-dub, 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 lub-dub. And then I experienced one of the most heartbreaking moments in my entire life. A vision that I will remember to my grave. As if in slow motion, she turned her face toward mine with one of the most confused and befuddled expressions I have ever seen. She didn't say a word, but what she said with her face was, "What on earth is going on here?" And I can still see her flower dress in the sunshine. I took her hand in mine. We walked away from this human sprawled on damp cardboard. We were silent for a long time, walking and puzzling. And then I stopped and I kneeled down and I gave her a hug. I gave her a hug, placing and pressing our hearts as close as they could be to each other. And I tried to explain that sometimes people don't have houses to live in, and they don't have much food to eat, and. It all sounded so very resigned, and so thin, and so frickin' flimsy. Lub-dub, 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 lub-dub. The next Sunday, we went to church as a family. It was called a Hope Sunday, Hope being the acronym for helping other people eat, wherein the young children of the congregation from their Sunday school classes, they circulated around the sanctuary with baskets to collect money, to buy canned food, to help stock the local food bank. My little daughter, in her favorite flower dress, helped gather the money. Tears just streamed down my face because she and her Sunday school classmates, they were in the ring, showing all of us how to bravely face Godzilla together. Amen. Before we move on, I just want to say that I deeply appreciate you listening to that sermon, and I deeply appreciate you considering a generous, generous stewardship gift to this congregation who fights Godzilla through every heartbeat. Our closing hymn this morning is number 1028, The Fire of Commitment.
From the light of days remembered burns a beacon bright and clear, guiding hands and hearts and spirits into faith set free from fear. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. From the stories of our living rings a song both brave and free, calling pilgrims still to witness to the life of liberty. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. From the dreams of youthful vision comes a new prophetic voice, which demands a deeper justice built by our courageous choice. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin.
Before we close out this service, I want to mention to everyone that there is a coffee hour or coffee time afterwards. You're welcome to grab some coffee or some tea. And a favor I have is as you go out to enjoy that this afternoon, please make your first stop someone that you do not know, or someone that you need to talk to that you haven't talked to in a while. And let's try to make that connection that is so important to help make this, this congregation thrive. And our closing words this morning, a beautiful little poem by Antonio Machado. Beyond living and dreaming, what matters most is waking up. And we extinguish this flame, but not the light of community, is that the light? The light of community, the warmth of commitment. I have totally zoned out. That's not good. No, I think that's not good. We extinguish this flame with 3 very powerful words: yes and how.